We are live on Yonkers Voice, and today our guest is Maria Alfaro. For those who don't know her, she's an author, a motivational speaker, and a community leader with lots of information to share. And we are going to be talking about current issues affecting our community. Welcome to the show, Maria.
Thank you for having me, Ru.
And Maria, introduce yourself. Tell everything that people need to know about you.
Yes. So just a little bit about me. My name is Maria Alfaro, and I am a first-gen Salvadoran American. And I was born and raised here in Yonkers. And I am a mental health advocate. I am a sister. I am a daughter. I am a friend. And to me, it's super important, especially now more than ever, to really talk about mental health, open up these difficult conversations, and just let everyone know that it is okay to not be okay. So again, thank you, Ru, for allowing me to come on here and use your platform to do so.
Well, Maria, thank you for taking the time and make yourself available. Maria, society, I would say, is messed up. We all know the issues. We see them. We walk through the square and we can see it. We know the problems, but the problem to me is the solutions. What do we need to do?
Well,
give me your take.
Well, in regards to mental health, right? I feel that mental health is the root to many of these issues. It a lot of times is the root to a lot of 911 calls, to crime, to homelessness, to so many different things. And because of stigma, it is something that we often do not talk about. And September, it was Suicide Prevention Month. Everyone was posting and having these conversations, which is great throughout this month. But we need to be having these conversations all the time. We need to talk about what gets our people to the point of wanting to commit suicide. There are so many things that are involved when it comes to mental health awareness. And for me, the approach that I take on it is our systems, the systems that we have in place. And so when it comes to our systems, I really focus on mental health education within our school system. And so by doing that, I'm also the founder of a local nonprofit called Que Paso Latinx, where we encourage everyone to put mental health first, one paso, or one step at a time. And so when it comes to mental health education, we're really focusing on education, mental health support, and mental health awareness, because there are so many clinical and professional resources out there, Ru, in our community, but how do we get our people to the door if that stigma exists, especially within our communities of color? So we're all about giving people the steps, giving people the education to say, okay, I may be struggling at the moment, and this is completely okay, but how can I get better? Because just like we all have physical health, we also have mental health, and they're equally as important.
But you know, Maria, as before we started the interview, we were talking offline, and we said that the problem is the system. I'm going to give you a little scenario of something that happened on North Broadway in one of those buildings. There was somebody there, a man by around 30, 35 years old, that puts a wood board off the building, on his building, and he goes there to catch some sun, or what appears that's what he's doing. Police is called, police goes there, they take him into the hospital for an evaluation. 45 minutes later, this man is back at his house. Now, I spoke with somebody in the police department, and he told me, we understand the problem. We understand the frustration. But what can we do? We take him to the hospital for evaluation. The hospital evaluates him, then lets him go. We have no authority to say, keep him there. And if the hospital keeps him there, who's going to pay for those bills, for the hospital bills?
Right.
So what needs to change?
Yes, and they took him to the psychiatric hospital, you're
yes,
saying?
Yes,
yeah, there are so many things. There are so many things. And I mean, for one, it's how we view mental health within the community. Because as we all have seen within the last year or so, even more so, our voice has so much power. Our community has so much power. So if we voice our opinion, if we voice the importance of these issues to us, especially when it comes to mental health, we are able to make a change. And it starts locally, it starts here, which is why I felt it was so important to talk about this here. Because if we as a community really express and verbalize how important this is to us, then we are able to make the steps in the right direction, speak with whoever we need to speak to get us all to that place.
Mm-hmm. Now, Maria, I know that you are very involved in the community. Have you spoken to our legislators? Because everything starts there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They are the ones that make laws. They are the ones that change the system. Have you spoken to them, and what do they say?
Mm-hmm. Well, I am about to start speaking with one of the legislators who I partnered with an event on. I had a health fair. I participated in the Westchester County Health Fair, and so we were there as a mental health organization bringing mental health resources. And they were at the health fair. It was amazing because they were able to bring in a doctor who spoke on suicide prevention, mental health awareness. And so right there, we're starting to open up the conversation, and we'll see where we go from there. There is something in specific that I do hope to open up the conversation about. It is something that they want to pass in New York City, which is as a result of the pandemic. We all know that the pandemic took a huge toll on all of our mental health. And I mean, I don't think it was in specifically the pandemic, because we've always struggled. We have always gone through these problems. I feel that the pandemic just heightened it. However, so they're wanting to pass something within the schools where they want to ensure that the students who go through high school are receiving that mental health education in the school. And so that is something that I'm hoping that we can potentially partner with a county legislator and figure out how we can push that here in our Westchester County schools, especially here within Yonkers.
Yep. We have here, as you know, we are live.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So we have a comment from Alice Di Palmo. She says, homeless is not the problem. It's not their fault that they have no home insurance problem. The problem is finding them a refuge, and stigma around how others view and judge the helpless people.
Right.
We need more shelters and more resources for those people, and seeing them as people,
Right.
which they are.
Yes.
But you know, Alice, you are correct in the problem, but there is a lot of mental illness also out there that needs to be addressed.
Right, right. And Alice, I didn't say that it was their fault. Or
No.
So,
yes.
Okay, it was more that a lot of times this mental illness exists within our homeless population, and like she said, it is not their fault. But that is what, like she said, the stigma, that is what people tend to look at. They tend to only look at someone who may be on the street, that's what they tend to look at, but that is not the cause. Like, how did we get here? How did our people get here as a society?
Correct.
So yeah, Alice, I agree.
So us as a community, Maria, what do you think we could do to help to find a solution for the problem? Is it in our hands? Do we have the power to find a solution?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Tell us how.
Yeah, I believe there are several different ways, but I think that one is, especially when it comes to mental health, is becoming aware. Awareness is key. And I'll share a little bit about me and behind my backstory so that people can get to know what brought me here, because I really feel like that's super important for people to understand my perspective. So like I said, I was born and raised here in Yonkers. I went through the Yonkers public school systems. I went to Lincoln High School. And so at Lincoln High School, there was a scientific research program. Shout out to Dr. Sagafi, who taught and still teaches the program. And throughout that program, it was my major. So the last 3 years of high school, I was allowed to select a topic of choice to read research articles, college-level research articles in high school. And so Dr. Sagafi helped us decipher the articles, learn about the topic that we selected, and everyone selected what they wanted to. And at the time, because of what I was going through at home, I selected mental health conditions. I wanted to learn about the brain, about human behavior, the psychology behind how we think. I wanted to learn about all of that. So I started to select articles around the topic. And so for me, what was going on at home was that I was like 15, 16, and in high school, trying to figure out myself in the world, right, as we all are at that age. And I was also figuring out a little bit about who my mom was. So my mom was diagnosed with bipolar disorder at the age of 10. And so she's battled with the disorder. It's a mood disorder since that age. But because of stigma, because it's not a conversation we have in our community, I had no idea that she had this disorder. And so once I started to learn through reading, through educating myself, I started to realize that the actions that I once saw as a part of who she was were really the actions and behaviors that were a part of her disorder. She had no control over that. She was born that way, you know. She wasn't asked to be mentally ill. It's with bipolar disorder, depending on different things, it's an imbalance in the brain, in the chemistry of your brain. And so with my mom, I was able to see past that, and I was able to let go a lot of resentment and a lot of things that I held against her because of those actions. So, like I said, awareness is key. Understanding mental health education, understanding what we all go through, our behaviors, is a start. And so, which is why we heavily focus on mental health education. So, because as soon as I was able to see that that was what my mom was going through, and it wasn't her fault, it wasn't, you know, at any fault of her own, it was a game changer. And I was able to realize, wow, if by educating myself on what anxiety is, what depression is, what bipolar disorder is, at that young age, and it was able to make that much of an impact on my life, that it was able to change the views on someone I love, you know, near and dear to me, then how much more can I learn and realize, and if I further my education. And so then I went off to study more behavioral sciences. I have a bachelor's in behavioral sciences. And so that right there, what I went through in high school and my childhood, is the reason why I formed this organization, because I feel that we need to focus on educating our people, and that's how we make a change. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is power.
I agree with you. But guys, you know that I have to stop for a few seconds for a short commercial, and to say thanks to Las Dos Marias for making the room available for our interviews. We ask you, the audience, to please come and support the restaurant. This is the best Mexican food in Yonkers, and I'm almost sure that the best in Westchester County. Great Mexican cuisine, great drinks, great ambiance, karaoke from Wednesday through Saturday, and Taco Tuesday. Did you ever came for Taco Tuesday? See, she comes, she supports our local business, but we would wish that you would as well. So come on down, Dos Marias, located at 200 New Main Street in Yonkers. Yes. Let's move on.
Yes, yes. You're here at Dos Marias con una Maria.
That's it. Dos Marias con una Maria. No, Maria, did your mom get help?
She did. So my grandmother, her mother, who migrated here from El Salvador, she worked her way up from nothing to educate herself, and she became a nurse. And she specifically focused on the brain. And so she was able to help my mom receive the clinical help that she needed. From a young age, she helped her go through the systems, and my mom has taken medication to help manage her disorder. However, there's the clinical resources, and then there's the non-clinical, and there's the support. How do our people know how to navigate the mental health system if this is not being taught at a young age to us? Our systems, the education systems, our schools are not teaching us from the very beginning what mental health is. and we go on through life to, the normal stressors of life that, we all go through things. And then we have to learn how to cope however we learn along the way, and many times that's through drugs, that's through alcohol, addiction. There's so many different things because we're not taught at a young age, so, and that's where it starts. So actually our first mental health education program, which is going to start Wednesday, November 3rd at the Yonkers Riverfront Library. It focuses specifically on teaching our youth how to learn about and manage their emotions. Because that's the basis, that's the core to mental health, is managing your emotions. If you know how to manage your emotions, whether it's a positive emotion, whether it's a negative emotion, you're able to cope better and navigate and manage your life.
Now, Maria, do you know of any organization that has case managers navigating the streets of Yonkers? Because the folks on the street that might have or might suffer from a mental illness, very often they disconnect from reality and from the world, and they don't even know, they don't realize that they have a problem.
Yeah.
But maybe others out there might recognize that is a problem. Do you know of any organization that is dedicated to navigate the streets of Yonkers and guide these people, those that need help? And when I talk about those that need help, I'm not just talking about the homeless. There is lots of people that suffer from mental illness and are at home. But very often, as you said, we are not trained to recognize the indicators that that person suffers from mental illness.
Right. And also, so I know St. Joseph's, St. Joseph's has a few different offices, and actually my mom goes to case management through St. Joseph's, and they're amazing. Her case manager has been life-changing and has helped her, and along with myself, support my mom, and she herself has supported my mom navigate the system and acquire resources as it pertains to her mental health. However, and then so St. Joseph's also has a division, St. Vincent's, where they're located in Harrison, and they're great. They're great. My mom has gone there for years, and they're able to provide the individuals who go there with help. But also, something you said with regards to mental health and mental illness, so that I feel like I want to sort of debunk that, because that's something that's even me up until recently, when I really started learning and diving deep into my passion towards mental health, is there's mental health, but there's also mental illness. And that's a lot of times where the stigma starts, us not understanding that. So like I said at the beginning, so mental health is the same as physical health. We all go through it. We all have physical health. And just like we have to go to the doctor to get checked and maintain it, maybe with medication, the same thing goes with our mental health. And when we don't either check on our mental health or maintain our mental health, that causes mental illness. And there's so many different degrees to having a mental illness, just like there is with physical health. There's so many different degrees to having a physical illness. So mental illness doesn't always look like, someone being suicidal or someone wanting to, just end everything. Mental illness looks like this, like I battle with depression, and I'm not afraid to say it, and that's just a part of life. And so we all go through these struggles. It's just about learning how to manage it, and we'll be okay.
But I think there are cases, Maria, where it's not just learning how to manage. There are cases that people just cannot manage.
Right.
Deep depression, suicidal intentions, people that are, in a different spectrum of their depression.
Yeah. Right. And so that's when we need to get professional help. And that's what my organization is trying to do within the Latinx community. We just launched a program called Que Paso Office Hours, where we're helping people who feel like they need or they want to get professional help understand how to get there. Because sometimes, like you said, we can't manage, and we don't know where to turn to. We don't know what to do. And so, because I know even myself, when I first started reaching out to wanting to see a therapist, I had no idea how to navigate the system. But through my experience and through learning and through connecting with different people, I've been able to learn. And so that's the knowledge that I want to share with my community.
Maria, talk to us a little bit about your organization.
Okay.
How can people reach out to you? How can they contact seeking help or maybe trying to be help to you in the sense of being assistant? Listen, Maria, I heard you. I see the passion. I want to get involved. I want to help. How can people reach out?
Okay, yes. So the name of my organization, we're a nonprofit, and we formed last year right before the pandemic hit, and then things were pretty slow because of the pandemic, and so now we've been able to, over the past few months, we've strategically have been planning the launch of our first program. And so at Que Paso Latinx, we encourage everyone to put mental health first, one paso, one step at a time. And so our mission is to educate and empower through healing, through conversations, and through culture. And so if anyone out there wants to get in contact with us, if anyone wants to know how to obtain therapy, how to seek professional services, or if you just need a few tips on how to self-help, our phone number is 914-200-4656. And we're also online. We have Instagram. We have our website. We're at Que Paso Latinx.
We just got a message here from Narnia. I don't know if I said her name correct. This is what she says. Not all be okay. My son committed suicide 10/09/2016. Our condolences to you. We feel your pain. What do people that have suicidal tendencies can do? Maybe they're not in the right state of mind to seek help, or maybe they are. But maybe there is people around that can see. What should they do?
So, I mean, that's a really tough situation, and I am not a professional mental health, I'm not clinician, I'm not licensed. We simply spread the awareness and provide the support and education, and I think that for someone, so you're saying someone who finds themselves in that position?
Yes, somebody who's sitting at home, depressed, thinking that there is no way out.
Well,
I need to end it all. Or somebody who's around that person and can see that coming, that this person is thinking about that, maybe because of the way he's speaking.
I think it's important for us as people, and especially when it's a loved one, and we're able, because sometimes we can see the signs, sometimes we're not able to. And that's why I feel it's important to, one of my favorite quotes is, be kind, for everyone you meet is fighting a battle you know nothing about. And so for someone who finds themselves in that situation, I would really encourage you to reach out, because alone you can only do so much. And it is in community, it is in support, it is in love and in care that we're able to fight those mental battles and really get through them. Because if we feel that we're at that point, it's really hard when we're alone, but when someone's holding our hand through it, it's that much better.
Now, Maria, your organization, are the people with boots on the ground? Do you actually go out on the streets and seek people, talk to people, or people have to reach out to you?
So at the moment, we've done a few community events, and we've done outreach. We've gone down South Broadway. We've handed out flyers to let people know that we're here and these are our services. So both. We've done different community events. We did the health fair. We participated in the Unity in the Community barbecue that was up by Elm. And we had free mental health games. We had free mental health resources. We provided different hotlines that people can call. And we also, in July, which was BIPOC Mental Health Awareness Month, we had an event at Lincoln Park on South Broadway. And it was called Salsa Mental Health. So we incorporated salsa dancing and mental health. So incorporating the physical and the mental health part. And we, again, provided free mental health games, so a fun way for the community to come out and learn about mental health.
Now, when people see you or when people go to those events and they come to you, what is the majority of the problems they talk about? What do they say, Maria? Do they tell you, look, I have a son, I have a mother, I have a sister or brother? What do they say to you?
Exactly that they have either themselves or a family member who is going through this. And a lot of people have simply just thanked us for being there, thanked us for having a table and opening the conversation, which is, again, like why I wanted to come here and have this broader conversation. Because something, and like I said, something as simple as knowing you have someone there to turn to who's non-judgmental, who's unbiased, that's a game changer for someone who's struggling.
Maria, we have to come to a conclusion soon.
Yes, yes.
But I want you to take this time to speak about anything you feel it's important, because sometimes I have a series of questions, but maybe those questions that I have are not exactly the things that you want to address to, but you know what's important, you know what you want to focus, and you know what you need to speak about. So please take a few minutes, look in the camera, and let's reach out and touch someone.
Yes, yes. So if anyone out there is struggling, if you are going through something mentally, like I said before, I please ask that you reach out. Reach out to anyone. It doesn't need to be someone professional. It can simply be turning to someone who you trust, someone such as a friend who you feel can uplift you and really be there for you in this moment. And I also want you to know that it is you who has gotten you to this point right now, and the change and the power starts right there within you. So whenever you're having a tough moment and you really feel like, I can't do this anymore, please dig deep inside and know that it's you. You can get yourself further, and your future self will thank you.
Well, one of our friends just joined in, actor Santiago. For those that don't know actor a few years ago actually walked from Yonkers to Albany to create awareness for mental illness. Do you remember that, Maria?
Yes, I remember on News 12, it was,
Yonkers Voice. We actually walked with him until Hastings, filming him. So it was a great thing. And I think we, as people, need to put more actions, not words. You know, we very often talk about, we demand this, we demand that. And I say the changes starts within. Let's start changing. By how? By getting involved with organizations like Maria's, by calling our legislators and say, listen, we have a problem. We need you to address the problem. That's why we elected you to office, to find solutions for the problems that we have. And there is no doubt that the mental illness is a problem, not just in Yonkers. It's a problem everywhere,
Oh,
Maria.
yeah.
Okay? Everywhere in the United States, everywhere in the world. But we are here in Yonkers and we are trying to focus in our city. Is there anything else, Maria, that...
I did want to leave a few self-help tips for people.
Go for it.
So something you can do just day to day when you're feeling overwhelmed and you feel like you want to, let out what you've been feeling. I think some good ways to help yourself day to day. One is grounding. So grounding is simply recognizing that you're here presently in this moment and sort of shifting your thoughts. And so grounding can be something as simple as turning to an app. So some good apps that are free, the Calm app, Simple Habit. These are apps that are absolutely free that you can download, and they offer meditation. They offer 5-minute, 10-minute meditations in English, Spanish, and several other languages. Also, in a way to sort of better understand your feelings, both emotionally, mentally, and physically, is journaling. Journaling is great, and it's something that's super simple. You can do it in your notes, in your phone. But I feel like a more effective way is actually writing it out and physically writing, and track how you're feeling day to day. If you're not at the point where you don't want to talk to someone yet, or you don't feel comfortable doing that, that's okay. Write it out and just put it there and track how you feel throughout the days after writing. And also a good resource that came as a result of COVID is New York Project Hope. They're online, and this is something that New York State is doing, and they provide free virtual community support groups in different languages, English, Spanish for sure, and they're super, super helpful. And again, unbiased, confidential. If you're not comfortable talking to anyone in your circle or do not want to turn to a professional, you'll be able to get support through these resources.
On that note, we end this interview. I thank you for watching. I thank you, Maria, for coming up and talk about this issue. We need this type of conversations. We need to face reality, and we need to be part of the solution. Yes, we all talk about the problems, but we need to focus more on the solutions. So let's be part of the solution. Thank you very much. Until next time, and guys, don't forget to stay tuned in. Judge Christine D'Alessia is coming next at 12:45 or 1:45, something like that. You get the notification. That I don't want to tell you for a reason. I want you all guys to turn the notifications on Yonkers Voice. That way, when we go live, you get notified and you jump and participate.
Oh, yeah.
All that we ask is that you engage in a polite and respectful way. Thank you, and until later.